understand that, and when you think about it, when you ask the direct question of why haven't we achieved what we've done to this point, is because of the literal environment,
Well, no,
the
I'm
literal
really
fabric
asking
and the
why we
structure
can't get
of this.
along with each other. And if y'all
Well,
are suggesting
that's
that
what
we
I'm
can't get
answering.
along because the white man has said we're not human, so that's
I
what I'm
understood
hearing.
that.
We're not, we
In
don't
what?
like each other because the white man has told us we're not human, and so therefore we look at each other as not being human. So that's to put a cap on it. Is that where we are as a race? Because
I'm
the
done.
white man has this power over
I'm
us.
not going to. I'm not going to engage because I can't have proper dialogue. So, uh,
Well, I mean, because that's you guys keep bringing up, like, as if we don't understand the systems of racism, which we do. I'm asking in 2025, we are still blaming the systems of racism why we don't get along as a people. You're suggesting that the white man or the race, the white supremacist system that has said we ain't shit and we're lazy and we're not human, that drives our mentality and how we view each other. So we don't get along because we view each other as being not human and lazy. No one is I'm not arguing against systematic racism, right? I understand that's our history. I'm posing why do we not get along with each other? Because the African woman who was on stage, she's still here, Faluke, she asked that. And I said that there's a lack of love in our community and a lack of respect. And we had two very eloquent, articulate, including yourself, Albert, intelligent speakers respond that it's because of systematic racism, that we don't hold each other in high regard. And I find that to be kind of puzzling.
well, what I understand is when we're having these discussions, there's a thing called decorum, and where we have a fair exchange. And I explained it, but maybe you needed me to clarify it. But what I will not do is honor the lack of decorum. I don't do that, and this is the problem with Clubhouse. I don't do it. We all have input. It doesn't mean that we're going to be exactly right or not. We need each other. The bottom line, and I'm not going to do that. And anyone that comes in my space recognizes that right away. I deal with qualitative and quantitative information. I deal with data and facts. When it gets into philosophy and esotericism, that can slide anywhere. That could go anywhere. So I mean, I'm not minimizing what you're saying. I'm saying we should have some type of decorum in talking about it because it exemplifies exactly what you're talking about. Literally what you're talking about, this is being exemplified right now.
Wait,
The unwillingness to be able to work together and develop a brain trust. We're not mute and dumb.
Hold on.
Can I make a suggestion, please?
Loki, hold on 1 second, ma'am. Then I'm going to hand the mic to Nye and Steve
Okay.
to talk. I'm a little confused. Where is the lack of decorum? Like maybe I didn't hear it. But Albert, can you tell me where that lack of decorum is?
Yeah. She's asking a question. And Miss Faluke, with all disrespect.
I'm not asking a question. I want to make some suggestions,
what I'm
and
talking
then
about?
you guys can look into it.
Faluke, you gotta hold on, man. The man was speaking. Oh, he left. Man, jeez.
He wasn't
I like
saying
Albert too.
nothing. God bless him, but he wasn't saying nothing. It was right back. It's my entire point. Every time we bring this stuff up, it's the white man, it's slavery, it's Reaganomics, it's WIC. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out why in 2025 black people don't get along, and they start talking about, well, the white man said we were lazy and 3/5 human. Okay, so is that how we view each other? Is that the answer? Because we view each other as lazy and 3/5 human? I don't. So what do you Negroes be talking about? He left because he had nothing to say, respectfully, and I like Albert. But I'm trying to figure out, when do we evolve past blaming systems of racism on everything? No one is dismissing our history. No one is saying that these institutional racism and systematic racism and white supremacy and global colonization does not exist and doesn't continue to impact black folks and people of color. My question was simple. based off what Feluke was asking, why in 2025 can Black Americans specifically not get along collectively and build up Blackness? And every time we try to have this discussion, Black people always go to slavery. Slavery is still the problem, okay? We still blame slavery on why we can't get along. And I'm puzzled by that. And I'm yet to have anybody just articulate why I know Black people get triggered. Don't burn down my Starbucks when I say this. Black men shoot each other down in the street, Black on Black crime. So I'm guessing if I ask, why don't Black men love each other, right? I'm not talking about individually. Why don't Black men love each other? Why is the Black on Black crime rate so high? I guess the answer is because the white man said we're lazy and not humans. Okay, guys, gotcha.
Well, Nye, I gotta go. You and Sig, you guys are gonna close in 5 minutes.
Yeah, can I just make a suggestion, please? One thing is this that I think about all the time. We can always learn. We have learned some things in our lives, in our mind. We've been made to believe in different things. But now, can we just have a forum where we can come together and then we can relearn? You unlearn some things you have learned in the past. Life is all about training. Whatever you become today, you'll be trained. Either you train in the school or you learn it on the internet or you learn it in the house. Now, can we unlearn certain things that are that is making us to grow, to the level where the Black world need to be? And then we now learn new things to replace whatever is odd, in our lives. Because there's a lot of things going on, and I believe learning is a very great one. And then with this, we can pass it down the line. Yeah, because if nothing is done, this trend is going to continue and continue and continue forever, I'm telling you. And that bothers me a lot. Because we don't deserve to be who we are. Like, we do not deserve it. We have everything it takes to be the best everywhere we go, and we always excel. But we can do better. Unlearn and relearn. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to be short. Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe. You're welcome. You got it.
Hey, Sig. Hey, friends. Who was the one, maybe they left, who said, let's just focus on building up Blackness? That's bullshit. If I were to say that and I'm white, I'd be kicked out of the room. Stop that shit. We're all blended.
Wait, you said who said what? Building up Black men?
Blackness.
Oh, okay, got it.
No, let's not focus on that. That's what got us in the shitter.
No, Black people do need to heal, though. We do need healing. We need a superhero. They killed our brother from Wakanda, the cancer. So we can't count on him.
Nah, they already have a superhero. His name's Jesus. They just, most people don't.
Yeah, white Jesus. But white Jesus still hasn't delivered
Jesus is the love.
White Jesus still hasn't delivered them from that spirit of feeling like each other's lazy and not human. Feluke, to your point, I think she said something about can we unlearn? As we have heard on this stage today, right? No, Black people don't want to unlearn anything that will not allow them to use slavery as a crutch to blame why we don't get along with each other, okay? If we can't use our history of enslavement, if we can't use systemic racism as a crutch to lean on in all these conversations to justify why we don't get along, why our communities are falling apart, why we don't have adequate leaders, okay, then we don't want to hear it, as evident by the two speakers who were here and they're no longer here.
My point was, we all have been through a course of slavery. I'm white, Irish, potato slave background. We all have had slavery backgrounds. Time to move on, kids. We got kids who depend on it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. I don't think there's ever going to be any mending, Nye, because you're always going to have two groups of Black people that don't have the victim mentality, and then the group of black people do, and it's like oil and water. It's never gonna mix. And you're starting to see more black people cross over to the aisle to say, yeah, you know what, this is kind of bullshit. More and more black people are starting to come out now and say, yeah, you know what, even like the older generation, like when I hang out with my great aunts and great uncles and, you know, all my grandmother's brothers and sisters and all them old fogies, them boomers and shit, like they're even complaining. They're like, I can't stand this young generation niggas. You niggas are whiners, complainers. You don't take care of your shit. You've let the neighborhood, like even the old black people are sick of this younger generation, right? So I don't think it's ever going to be blended. What I think it's going to take now is more conversations like this out in the open, for people to hear the other side and really come to terms with, you know what, yeah, that is kind of true, man. You know, it's funny how in 1837, you know, we were treated like animals and considered animals, but yet they let us found the first HBCU in 1837 during slavery. Seems to me if someone really thought you were an animal and treated you like an animal, they wouldn't let you found schools. They wouldn't let you establish higher learning educational facilities to educate more black people, specifically for black people.
Or be a Supreme Court justice or the president.
Yeah, a politician, lawyers, doctors. So, you know, I think people are starting to read, the information is starting to come out, and more people are coming to terms with, hey, maybe the things we've been taught all these years aren't really that true. And yeah, you know, if our grandmothers and great grandfathers were able to make it through slavery and make it through Jim Crow and Reconstruction during the most racist points in this country, and they were able to build and thrive and build schools, HBCUs, the vast majority of HBCUs were founded before the Civil Rights era. How do you explain that? You would expect that after the Civil Rights Act, more HBCUs would have been founded by black people because now we have more opportunity. So, like, shit's just not adding up. The math ain't mathing. It ain't making sense. And then people are starting to understand, too, wait a minute, we're only pointing the finger at white people. Yet, if you look at the entire logistical chain of chattel slavery, there were Africans involved. The entire Congolese Empire was built and became prominent off of enslaving other fucking Africans. And it wasn't this, you know, oh, it's not really a slave. He's just my buddy that's just working on my, on my plantation for me. And I'm going to give him his free. No, like, look up the Congolese Empire and the slavery they instilled. They were brutal to other Africans. They were slaughtering, murdering, raping, killing. Like, they were fucking brutal to other Africans. So people are starting to realize it's not fair to only point at one group, when if you look at the entire logistical chain of chattel slavery and black people, there were many other ethnicities involved in it. It wasn't just white people. And I think that's what it's going to take to kind of man. And then always we're going to have a leftover group of people that no matter how much facts and data and common sense you present, they're still going to feel the way that they feel and think the way that they think. And we just got to leave them by the wayside and focus on building America to be the best country and all working.
And I want to suggest as well, I need the black community needs to really come up more than ever, because I remember there was a time they were making advertisements in the, what state was that? Tennessee. There was a college there that offered 100% scholarship for black men to come because there wasn't even, the number of black medical doctors has dropped drastically. And everywhere you go, it's just sad. So many things, so many opportunities that I see that the black communities are not even taking advantage of. When you go into the black school, I have been there, my daughter has went through the place. The kind of education and even the way the black, it's just a lot going on. Like, I am telling you, one of the things we need to do when we say the one that are really program, I don't even care about racism. It's about, bringing ourselves up to where we need to be. That's all that matters to me. The community allows you to be the best version of yourself. They provide everything that can bring you down to the lowest level of dehumanization, humanization. But all we got to do is look at the positive side of life, look at everything that is positive in the community, and take advantage of it so that the coming generation, can be a better, we can have a lot of, black men and female that are highly productive, that are taking, their destiny in their hands to drive the world beyond limits. That's all that matters to me. And that's why I said, if we can find some, some great men, even in this community, where we are right now talking, we can form a community where we can have
Now, you brought up a point about the church. We all love Jesus, right? We understand that the church has been...
This has nothing to do with church. I don't care about church. I'm a Christian. I go to church.
Lady. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the point Nye made. Nye earlier, if you were listening, mentioned about the church and the black community. So that's what I'm talking about. So relax. Calm down. So Nye, something to... And again, this is the problem that I have with black people. We're demanding respect, yet we're presenting ourselves as clowns. And I'll give an example. Glorilla, the rapper, just got the BET Gospel Award presented to her on stage the other day. The church has been a foundational pillar in the black community for fucking generations. Blacks have relied on the church to form families, to keep families intact, and it's something very serious in the black community. And yet, we can't even honor something so structurally sound that has kept our community, that kept our community for so many generations in a point of excellence, even though we're going through so much turmoil and strife. But when we show the world that a female rapper who raps about promiscuous sex, freely aborting black kids, killing other black people, selling drugs to other black people, poisoning their own fucking communities, and our community presents them with a gospel award to reflect the word and the mission of God and Jesus Christ, we can't expect anybody to look at us and take us seriously when that's who we're choosing to represent something as sacred as the church. Like, this is the shit we gotta start looking at, man. We are making ourselves look like clowns, and then we get upset when people treat us like fucking clowns. We're displaying our bullshit in front of the entire world, man. Like, we gotta check this shit. It's not fun.
It's the white man's fault, Sid. That's what they'll say. It's the white man's fault that we're even having this discussion. How dare we not praise Glorilla and give her the gospel award for pushing demonic energy with her lyrics in our community? Let me add to that. We also didn't get any pushback from the Black Collective when Megan Thee Stallion was twerking at the DNC. Notice that nobody blames slavery and the white man for that. They said it was black girl magic. Then I asked why we can't get along, and suddenly it's because the white man said we're not human and we're lazy. Okay, guys. So yeah, to your point, I love my people. I do. I said in a room earlier last week, I love blackness. If I believe in reincarnation, I wouldn't want to come back anything but black. But we do have some clownish energy that kind of dominates the conversation when we're having discussions like this. And I'm going to pray for us. I want us all to join hands, like a circle group, and pray that one day, maybe not this generation, maybe not the generation, I'm Generation X, maybe not the millennials and Generation Z. Maybe one day the generation that hasn't been born yet will rise above the blaming slavery and the white man and white Jesus on all the problems. Okay, maybe I hope I'm alive when that day comes, when we can have these discussions and black people have some concrete, solutions to healing our community and not always resort to, well, the white man said we're lazy and we're monkeys and we're apes and slavery and, petting zoos. And that's why we hate each other, because that's exhausting. And that's no longer a valid excuse, in my opinion. And I'm done. So you can shut it down whenever.
All right, well, I want to give Folu, Joe B, and Sunan, give you guys the last of the mic to speak. So if you guys want to give a closing statement, we can close it out after that. And thank you very much. And I had nothing but respect and love for you. I appreciate being in the room with you.
Same to you.
Folu, Joe B, Sunan, you guys want to any closing remarks before we dip out here? Or if anybody else wants to come up and give a closing remark. All right, God, would you like to give a closing remark? We're going to shut the room down.
In the words of Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, don't be a dreamist. Go.
No, I didn't. So I just appreciate it.
My point was, we all have been.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everybody in the audience for Oh, go ahead, Sunan. You got.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I think a lot of people have like misconceptions and preconceived ideas of how the world is and stuff. I mean, even myself, I consider myself to be a troll, and an asshole sometimes. But I even have like preconceived ideas. I moved out to West Texas, and my wife's from a tribal group in the Philippines. I used to live in Hong Kong, Singapore, and the Philippines. I met her there, and we were moving out to West Texas, and I'm white, Jewish, Native American, and I thought, well, man, white people in West Texas are probably going to be like the antebellum Appalachia South, and it's going to be a bunch of racist crackers, and they're going to be like just berating us and giving us shit, and like they do in places like Atlanta and stuff where I grew up. And the reality is, you go up to most of the world, nobody cares. People are just like, oh yeah, you have some beautiful kids. Like most people around the world are just working their jobs, they're doing their things, they got their own troubles, their own issues, and most people don't care if you're white or black or they don't care. I mean, you have these small percentage of a-holes out there that make everybody look bad, but the reality is people are just living their lives.
Man, bro, I say the same thing, man. Like, these people who have these weird-ass fetishes and fantasies about white people going after them and going after black people. I'm like, man, all these white people I've been around and been to the beach with, had beer with, broken bread with, worked with, been in Iraq with, sleeping in the fucking sand with, being out in the woods, wiping our asses with leaves. All these white boys I've been on. White people ain't thinking about black people. I've said it a million times. White people are not waking up at first thing in the morning, kicking their legs over the side of the bed, rubbing their hands together and saying, how am I going to fuck over some niggers? They're just not, man. Most white people are struggling just as rough and as hard as black people. And they're in the same fucking boat trying to fucking work 2 or 3 jobs just to put gas in their fucking car, just to make it to work and put groceries on the table. Like, the vast majority of us are rocking the same fucking struggle, man. And it's not conducive to anybody to be divided in this country, especially in this time when everything's so fucking expensive, wages aren't going up, healthcare fucking sucks. It's horrible out here, man, and it's horrible for every fucking body.
Really quickly to that point, it reminds me, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but as a Gen X woman, I've been working since I'm age 14. I can't tell you the number of jobs, and most of my jobs have been in entertainment business. I've worked in entertainment business for 20 years. A great majority of my jobs, I've been like that token black, the only black in the office, and I never once felt unsafe. And I bring that up because I've heard these younger generations of blacks say, I don't feel safe around white people. I don't feel safe. And it reminds me, we're clearly all living on different timelines or various multiverses. Because I'm like, young brother, young sister, what's going on on your timeline? What are white folks doing on your timeline where you don't feel safe when you navigate spaces, white spaces? Because I've never felt this way. Okay? Even when I was the only Negro in the office, I never felt this way. And let me tell you something. Shout out to the white boss who was always treating us to free lunch. If you are a white man in office right now, you the CEO, take your black employee out to lunch so they feel better about themselves today. Because right now they're probably trembling in their boots. They feel unsafe. Take them to a free lunch. Take them to Chipotle so they feel good.
Same thing. Like, this is what I explain to people. It's like, it's funny how, when I was living in Detroit in the city, nothing but black people, 90% black people in my neighborhood. Nothing. I live around these black people. My whole life I've been told white people are out to get you. White people gonna try to kill you. They're racist. They're gonna try to keep you from working and getting a job and promotions and all this other shit. And they're gonna keep their boot on your neck. Yet when I live around black people who look exactly like me, house got broken into, cars got broken into, at gunpoint twice, tires fucking stolen, all kinds of degenerate shit. They literally took the empty plot of land between the houses. It used to be a trap house, but the city came and tore it down. They literally built 2 stages with stripper poles, and they have full nude strippers out in the open on this vacant plot of land for children to see, for women to see, for the elderly to see. So when you're surrounded by all this shit,
post that address?
What's that?
Can you post that address?
And then it's like, okay, fine, white people are bad, but this is bad living. I want to live in something better, and it happens to be that I'm moving to a white neighborhood. Wait a minute, my house ain't getting broken into, my cars ain't getting stolen, I'm not getting fucking robbed at gunpoint, nobody's lighting crosses on my fucking front lawn. It's exactly the opposite. The white people are knocking on my door. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Here's a zucchini bread like we baked for you. Here's some popcorn, some gourmet popcorn we bought for you. Welcome to the neighborhood. when I move around in the black neighborhood, I don't have niggas coming up to my porch and welcoming me and my family to the fucking neighborhood. So, it seems like, again, if we're going to push this narrative that whites hate blacks and whites are out to get blacks, then I would expect better treatment from people that fucking look like me when I do live around them. But we don't see that. We see every time black people get a little bit of money, what's the first thing they do? They go and move right to the lion's den amongst the very white people that they say are out to get them. So shit just ain't math, and shit just ain't fucking added up. I think it's a bullshit narrative. Othello shared those stats showing that only 2,900 cases of hate crimes black people report against them. So 2,900 people in 2023 said, hey, as a black person, I had a hate crime conducted against me. 2,900 people out of 40 million people, that's 0.00007%. I'd expect that if it was this big of a problem as they're making it out to be, I'd expect it to be higher than a third of a fucking percent. That's all.
Ciao, baby, bye. I see B, Keegan, and Keith have come back, but we really were about to close the room up. But if either of you have any final thoughts, go ahead. B, final thoughts. Keegan, Keith, final thoughts.
I always come in when it's time to close, no matter what room it is, right? Yeah, I mean, hey, we have to all go off our own experiences. Being raised in Portland, Oregon, in the suburbs, I'll be honest, like majority of Oregon is Caucasian. We have not had any collective problems. I'm not going to pretend like oppression and racism doesn't exist. I just haven't experienced it. Like, of course, are there comments? I'll be honest, though, similar to what kind of like you were saying, Sig, is the people that have given me the most grief in my life have been people that look like me, people in my family, people in the community, and dare I say something similar to what you just said, it's the coon, it's the Uncle Tom, it's the bedwinch, it's rough in these streets, right? If you don't have the same story as everybody else, you're the other, but are you, right? So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, this is all lived experiences. It's crazy for me to say I've lived with white people the majority of my life, like the majority of my life. And the only problems I've ever had were like I feel threatened. Like, of course, you got like crazy problems here and there, but when I feel like my life is threatened, like I always use this example, but when I was playing basketball one time, I had my life threatened over basketball. I'm a white guy. I left the park. I was the only white guy at the park. Should have been playing basketball in Michigan. That's what I say. Sick, I know better. And but yeah. This is the actual problem. Is that the only time I've had my life threatened is from black people. I'm not saying all black people are terrible. I love black people. I really enjoy. I actually enjoy being with certain people that are black. But for some reason, it's like you get into trailer park, and trailer park people I've spent my whole life with, they are complete. I mean, I'm not from the trailer park, but I know a lot of trailer park people. They are like drug users, and they like to drink alcohol a lot, and they're gonna go shooting, and they like to go mudding, and like they're just rednecks, right? They're just like hick people, and they might fight here and there, but there's no murders. But then when you're around black people, it's like gang violence and gun use and like inappropriate gun use, like not for hunting or shooting, like they like just hold pistols out, and it's just crazy to me. So, but I consider, I'm racist for saying that. So I guess at the end of the day, I always say stereotypes are for safety, and you have to use them your own opinions to understand how to see the world.
Well, I always like to
Elon Musk, do you
give a shout out to the white folks, to the white man specifically, for giving us Breaking Bad, The X-Files, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, and of course Doctor Who. And
You and that Doctor Who girl.
I love me some Doctor Who. Okay. And Leonard Skinner. Okay.
And Travis Barker.
Thank you to the white man who financed Jimi Hendrix. And shout out to Keanu Reeves if he happens to be listening on Twitter.
Nye, did you see the ending of the last season?
I did, and I'm heartbroken. By the way,
Rose is coming back.
Is she though? I interviewed the black
I
doctor.
hope so.
Ooh, it'll be interesting. Now, if they bring back Rose, they have to bring back David Tennant, at least in a guest appearance. Shout out to David Tennant, one of the mightiest white men on the planet.
Best
Doctor Who, right?
Oh, and his role that he played in was it Iron Fist? No, Lex Steele. Remember when he was the guy that could tell you to do anything? He'd be like, "Go fuck yourself," and then you would literally go fuck yourself. That was his super.
Wait a minute, I don't know that one. Was that
It was
Marvel show?
it was the Marvel show.
Oh, yeah.
Lex Steele.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jessica Jones.
That's what I was
I'm sorry.
thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
think of
Jessica
the title.
Jones. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, his character was pretty good.
All right, that's it, Sig. That's all I got. If we want to shut it down, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Be peaceful. Be on the lookout for me and Monica might be hosting a room. White Fear, Black Fatigue 2.0.
Oh, that should be good. That should be good.
What's the title, babe? One more time. What'd you say? What's it called?
White Fear / Black Fatigue 2.0. I got to get with Monica.
Oh, Lord.
She's still down, so that'll probably be going down this week. So get ready. Get ready. I'll be called all types of bed winches and coons and maggots when we host that room.
Probably
Yeah,
by
It'll be
Monica.
exciting.
Probably by Monica.
I was gonna say too. Nah, you were sounding pretty coonish earlier. I just had to let you know that. So.
Oh, no.
I was about to pull your black card.
I gotta change my PTR to dirty cave bitch. A black man called me a dirty cave bitch last week because I defended the black gay man. So I gotta change my PTR.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I was just a bitch.
Yeah. And I was wondering to myself, I wonder if the cave that he claims I come from is that cave that they claims connects Latin America to Egypt. Boy, I hope I'm the queen of that cave. Now I just need to learn how to turn dirt and rocks into fire, and I'll really be winning as the cave,
All right.
the queen cave bitch.
All right, Nye, I'm gonna ask you something that's gonna piss off black people. I don't know if you're single or not, but if you were single, would you hook up with David Tennant? Or...
Are you asking me, have I sucked white dick? Sure, and it tastes like...
No, David Tennant
David
specifically.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
What did it taste like?
My perverted mind went somewhere else. I have the mind of a deviant. Would I bang out David Tennant? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I heard he was a freak. Yes, let's get it
What
on.
did it taste like, Nye? One more time? I missed that.
Like ice cream.
White dick
just-
tastes like chocolate. White dick tastes like chocolate to piss off all the black militants in the room. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I like to troll sometimes. They already hate me on this app, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, on that note, we're going to go ahead and shut down the room. Don't burn down my Starbucks because I said white dick tastes like chocolate. Leave me alone. Don't be in my back channels with the bullshit. I'm just going to block you. Y'all be peaceful. Go pray. Go pray to white people.
Yeah. Oh, not
Take
white
care,
sheep.
guys.
And feel they didn't waste the missile. So that increased the takedown rate to about 95+%, maybe 96, some number like that. But it's a layered air defense system,